Coming from ABC News, China's new AI model halts new subscriptions as demand swamps capacity. The Chinese AI model Kimi K3 has suspended new subscriptions after overwhelming demand pushed its capacity close to its limits. So I do think this is kind of an interesting story to take a look at from a number of vantage points. The first vantage point is how popular Kimi K3 is. So this is the open weights, open source model that came from Moonshot, a company owned by Alibaba. It's like 2.8 trillion parameters, and apparently it compares very favorably to Anthropic and OpenAI's latest model. So the Chinese want you to know it's not as good, but it's only a little bit worse, right? Depending on what spreadsheet you go take a look at. In some areas, it does appear that Kimi K3 is better than AI's and Anthropic's models. I would argue once you get into this realm of horseshoes and hand grenades, realistically, who the hell cares, right? There are more important things when you think about deploying technology than what is technically the best, right? You look at things like cost, you look at things like performance, look at things like can a psychotic president that drinks a bad can of Coke be able to shut off your access to this model in 90 minutes because he's having a wine session that day, right? There are things that are more important than specifically being absolutely a best across the board. And so what's interesting with Kimi K3 is it does seem like they have created a very good model here. And so when you hear about them halting new subscriptions as demand swamps capacity, one of the interesting things to think about with this and wonder is what that demand actually looks like, and is there that much pent up demand for these Chinese models? As I've talked about before, I always give the metaphor of the Argentinian CTO or the Peruvian or the Portuguese CTO trying to figure out what their risk tolerance is onto whether or not they will be able to tolerate the risk of dealing with the American AI stack. But one of the interesting things that's currently happening is that American founders, American CEOs, American technology companies have been deciding they cannot tolerate the risk of the American stack. That is how bad we aren't losing the AI race on the global stage. We're starting to lose the AI race within our own country, with our own people, which is ridiculous. And so one of the interesting things to look at this with demand being so high is this showing that there is just a tremendous amount of demand for these Chinese models. Now, on the flip side, because there's always a flip side, do remember everybody does propaganda. Yankee man does propaganda. China man does propaganda too. Human beings do propaganda. So one of the arguments could be on the other side is that they're so hardware resource constrained. It's not really that they got some massive overwhelming demand to use their model, but simply a normal blip that OpenAI or Anthropic would be able to deal with and not think twice about. That simply overloaded the hardware resources that Moonshot had, and that is what created the swamping event. And so this is going to be one of the interesting things to follow over the next year or two, is as we start to see stories like this, trying to suss out, well, what does it actually mean? Does this mean massive demand, or does this mean incredibly constrained resources? And without very specific numbers, it's very hard to tell. If we take a look at this article, the new powerful Chinese AI model Kimi K3, which has caused a stir in the U.S. tech industry, has suspended new subscriptions after a flood in demand overwhelmed capacity within days of the launch. Quote, Kimi K3 has received far more love than we expected. Moonshot AI, which is Beijing-based, wrote in an X post late on Sunday, quote, over the past 48 hours, demand has pushed close to the limits of our current capacity. And so that's the other thing to be thinking about with this too is, what did they expect? It's so big. Yeah, it's only, again, numbers only matter in relation to what you're comparing those numbers to. So just because you say demand was amazing, you were surprised at the level of demand. that doesn't actually mean as much as it may sound. Moonshot said that it's prioritizing existing subscribers and would temporarily pause new ones. Quote, we're adding capacity as fast as we can and will reopen new subscription spots in batches, it added. I do think this is an interesting thing to be thinking about, though, with the Chinese way of doing things versus the American way of doing things, right? We have been hyperscaling our infrastructure, right? OpenAI, Anthropic have just been building, right? Like Meta. Meta built so much AI architecture that they built it so quickly, they didn't even realize they didn't need it. So they're now renting out their AI infrastructure to Anthropic. XAI built their AI infrastructure so quickly, they didn't realize they didn't actually need it either, right? Hundreds of thousands of GPUs are now being rented out by XAI. 240,000, I do believe, are going to Anthropic. Something like 100,000 are going to Google. Another 40,000, something like that, are going to this startup company that deals with AI models. So literally, XAI overbuilt to such a degree that they had hundreds of thousands of GPUs sitting there to be rented out. So one of the interesting things is when we look at how China seems to be building their infrastructure, they seem to be building their infrastructure based off of demand. And so it'll be interesting from a competitive standpoint where people stand in 5 years. Because right now, we don't know how this is going to end. I mean, I have some bets. I'll put $5 on the table. I think I know where this is going to end, but we don't actually know. And so one of the arguments, right? The American argument is you need to overbuild. You need to build more infrastructure than is currently needed because demand is going to rise so quickly that you want the resources to be available when the demand gets there. Right? So basically the whole idea, let's say you have a pizza shop. And so the pizza shop has one pizza oven and you can make 10 pizzas per hour, right? And let's say you're selling 10 pizzas per hour. Now, if Sam Altman was owning this pizza shop, he would buy 5 more pizza ovens, right? Because he knows that in the future, there will be a demand for 60 pizzas per hour, even though it's not currently there. So he will want to pre-invest in purchasing these additional pizza ovens so that when the demand comes, he'll be able to provision for that demand. And so the idea is that'll be successful. When people are hungry and they come to your restaurant, they will be fed, they will then be loyal to your business, and you'll be successful. The issue is let's imagine those pizza ovens, I don't know, cost $100 billion a piece. So buying 5 additional pizza ovens sounds like a really good idea until you realize it's going to cost you $500 billion for those 5 additional pizza ovens. And if you're taking $500 billion to invest in one thing, that just fundamentally means you can't invest that same money in other things. If you buy these additional pizza ovens, then you don't have enough money to pay rent for maybe a different location. You don't have enough money to pay for possibly more employees. You don't have enough money to pay for additional advertising or whatever else. You've put all of that money into those pizza ovens with the idea that if you have pizza ovens, pizza eaters will come, right? You look at the Chinese model, right? You look at how the Chinese seem to be doing it, and they're like, well, we're currently selling, I don't know, five pizzas per hour. We have a pizza oven that is able to support 10 pizzas per hour, and we're pretty good with that. Pretty good with that. And then all of a sudden you have 10 pizzas per hour. So now they're at max capacity. And the issue becomes is like, well, what happens when people want to buy 12 pizzas per hour or 20 pizzas per hour? Well, then they have to get on the phone. They have to call the vendor of pizza ovens. They have to order a pizza oven. They have to get that pizza oven installed. The whole 9 yards. And so then the question becomes is like, well, if I went to their pizza shop and they didn't have any pizza, then why am I going to go to their pizza shop again in the future? But then the weird part about this is you start looking at pricing. And you're like, okay, well, OpenAI is always going to sell you pizza. It will always have pizza available, but the price is here. Now, the Chinese pizza joint, Now sometimes they run out of pizza. Sometimes you cannot buy any pizza from them. But the price of their pizza is 25% of what OpenAI's is. And that's where like people like me will be like, well, I mean the Chinese pizza shop is just right there. Here's my thing. Here's my thought. Why don't we go to the Chinese pizza shop, see if they have any of their they're almost as good pizza available for 25% of the price. If they do, we'll buy a couple of pizzas. And if not, we'll go to OpenAI pizza shop. And again, this is where you got to start thinking about like again, who has the right answer? I know you'd be surprised where I'd put my $5 on this. But anyways, let's see here. Quote, new model releases generally trigger massive interest, which can strain existing compute infrastructure, said Lian Su, a chief analyst at the Technology Research and Advisory Group, Omdia. Quote, this does show Moonshot AI does not have sufficient compute chips to serve the current surge in demand. Which again, is that good or bad? Like if a lot of the demand is free, if a lot of the demand they're not actually making any money on, then how much do you cry? How much do you cry when you can't give away free pizzas? It's a question. Sue said that the key reason was more likely due to Moonshot not fully anticipating a surge in K3's popularity. K3 is, quote, very demanding in terms of compute requirements, he said, making compute allocation challenging and expensive. So anyways, that is what we're dealing with right now with Kimi K3's model, the Moonshot model that just came out. Apparently, there is massive demand for that. What does that actually mean? Who knows? Who knows? It depends on what country you're doing the propaganda for. It could mean that the Chinese AI stack is just whipping the crap out of America, or it could mean that the Chinese AI stack is can't hang with the Americans. Right? That's all perspective, I suppose. And we will see where this goes. So with this, the big thing that I will say with all of this is do realize it is going to take years for this to all come out in the wash and to figure out theoretically who the winner is, who the loser is. One of the biggest examples I would give right now, when we talk about the Chinese AI stack versus the American AI stack, when we talk about things like first mover advantage, is just to look at the failure of OpenAI. Do remember, like when we look at the Chinese AI stack right now, it's really easy to denigrate it. It's really easy to say, oh, they're behind what we're doing. They don't have as good a hardware, blase, blase, blase. One of the things I want to remind you is it was only like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, OpenAI was considered the front runner company and Google was considered the loser. Remember that? 2 years ago, we were told that Google lost the AI race, that the CEO didn't know what the hell was going on, and this was proof that Google was going to be dead in rather short order, right? Google was essentially going to be the next Yahoo. That's what we were informed at that time. And now, right? And you had Anthropic. Anthropic was like an also ran. It's like, oh, that's cute. The intern created a little AI company to compete with Sam Altman. Adorable, right? Remember that? Remember that? And now Google is taking the lead with a lot of the AI stuff, and you have Anthropic that is actually right now valued at more than OpenAI is. Anthropic is looking to IPO probably in October, and OpenAI, who knows if they're going to be able to IPO. Again, it is very interesting when Sam Altman says that anything under a $1 trillion valuation is a non-starter. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work out well for them, right? So in 2 years time, OpenAI went from the front runner to essentially the also ran. So that's the thing to be thinking about too. With this stuff with China right now, is you look at this. Oh, they don't have enough hardware. Oh, their model requires more resources than the American model. Oh, this or that or the other, which is true right now. But we're like in the beginning of this particular race in the tech world. So where everything falls out in 5 or 10 years, as I've said before, I think they got a better plan, right? They've got industrial policy and we've got truths. You know. I miss America having industrial policy. Remember when America had industrial policy? That was great. Remember when we used to argue about things like that? Now we argue about truths. Truths. Jesus. I hate this time period so much. So anyways, what do you think about this? What do you think about Kimi K3 having to restrict access because there is just so much demand? Whose propaganda do you support currently? And where do you think it's all going to work out another 5 or 10 years? Put your thoughts down below. If you like these episodes, do remember they're on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Link is down below. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.